Hello and welcome to the Fishing Guide Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Wiegmann. Dynamite show is all I can say. Exclusive look at Lowrance stuff. I actually had an opportunity to go do it, so guess what? We have the expert. Is that right?
Something like that. That's what they tell me.
Oh, all right. Well, tell them who you are and what you do at Lowrance.
Yeah. So I'm Matthew Laster. I'm the director of fishing systems for Lowrance. So, building our displays and our sonars and making them work with all the other stuff on the boat, like a ghost trolling motor and power poles and all that stuff. But, building a bigger, better fishing system. And
the reason why I actually came in and started looking at your new products is because you have new products. So let's get right to it.
Yeah.
They don't listen to me. They want to listen to you talk about the 3 new views and new units. And
Yeah. So we got lots of new stuff. We actually are launching 3 new products all at the same time, which is like a first for us. Like I said, we're out, the ultimate fishing system, right?
Right.
So 2 new sonars, a new set of HDS displays. It's a whole new boat basically. We've got HDS Pro, which is brand new for this year. It replaces HDS Live, so it's our best, like I said, ultimate fishing system display. Right. That's available in a 9-inch, a new 10-inch, which you got to see the other day. Yep. It's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, sweet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's also a 12 and a 16.
Right.
So we've got some screen sizes that everybody's familiar with, and then we got that new 10. The 10 is actually my favorite. It's like perfect in every sense of the word.
And that was one of the first questions I asked was like, is the 10-inch, what's the pixel count on it?
Yeah.
How's the definition on the 10?
Yeah, it's actually the same pixel count resolution as a 12.
Right.
They actually almost sort of share a screen. I mean, the 12 is bigger, obviously, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's the same resolution as the 12.
Which is just mind-blowing. That fills that gap. Like there's been that gap, but all of a sudden you came out.
There's a really big difference between a 9 and a 12, like in terms of size, right? Like there's a lot of boats that 9 is just not quite big enough, but a 12 is too big.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that buy 9s or buy 12s, and I wish I had something in between.
Right.
It's a big gap, and so that 10 sits right there in the middle. It's sort of like if you want to think about it, it's sort of like the height of a 12, but the width of a 9. So it's perfect.
Some of the consoles, like on Vexus boats, I know on the older ones, they didn't have a big enough console to actually install 12. But you could have got a 10-inch in there. So that does make a difference. So let's talk about the Pro. What does the Pro do that the Live doesn't?
The biggest thing about HDS Pro is the sonar that's in it. So we basically did a ground-up rebuild of side scan and down scan. It's a new transducer. It's new hardware in the display.
Right.
We rewrote the software, so we got new color palettes with pings differently. It's like I said, it was a ground-up rebuild of side scan and down scan, and that's the biggest change.
And then it goes up to, I guess you'd say ActiveTarget.
Yeah.
And then from ActiveTarget, all of a sudden you got this Pro, and this Pro allows you to do what?
Yeah. So you're jumping to ActiveTarget 2 now. So ActiveTarget 2 is the third new product. It's the second brand new sonar.
Right.
And it replaces ActiveTarget 1. And what we did is we took that transducer and we said to ourselves, how do we make this the absolute highest resolution, best image, best picture quality? See bait, see fish, see structure, out away from the boat.
Right.
How do we make the best product to do that? And that's what we got to with ActiveTarget 2. So we redesigned the transducer to do all of those things. So you get a much better, cleaner, clear, consistent picture all the way through whatever range you're using, especially if you're in forward mode.
Right.
But the other big change we made, and this goes into the HDS Pro, is we've got where all of the sonars now can tell each other when they're pinging, so they don't interfere with each other. Well, what that opened us up to do is do multiple ActiveTarget systems. So you can do 2 transducers and 2 modules, plug them into your HDS Pro, and you have what we're calling combined views now. So you can do what we call Scout Wide, which is our normal Scout mode, but it's 2 of them. So instead of having your 135 degrees of live sonar, you now have 270 degrees of live sonar.
You see,
it's 3/4 of the way around the boat.
Everything that you could cast to, because the back of your boat's going to be in the way for you to throw back that way. So you're seeing everything.
Yeah, it's literally
live.
It's 3/4 of the way around the boat. So it's live, high resolution sonar. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see fish swimming. You can see how they're relating to the structure. It's cool.
Yeah, and so we actually were on Lake Norman, and we were watching the stripers. We're up against a fence, and they're swimming, and the current's coming through, and they are just stacked up there. And it's so cool because you're seeing it live. You're able to, and you could see a wide angle of it. Like you're not missing part of it, like you're having to turn your trolling motor, because when you turn your trolling motor to shift into the current, it's still so, I guess the pun's wide, but it's so wide that
that's why we call it Scout wide.
Yeah, you just still see it. So it's an amazing thing. So what's the other two views that you have?
So we have forward, down, and Scout, just like we have in ActiveTarget 1. But the other new one is what we're calling 180. And so that's where you would just take one of them and point it forward like normal. And then you take another ActiveTarget transducer and you point it directly backward.
Right.
And so what that gives you is your full range, but forward and behind. So you set. So it's almost like if you're moving your active target around, you only have to cover half the distance now because you have another one pointed the same range in the opposite direction. So you can see all that detail, 80, 100, 120 feet behind you or behind wherever the active target is pointed to.
Right.
So having that is actually, I think, it's one of the things I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I got on the water, I was like, nope, this is super powerful. Like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Do you think like the market, like walleye fishermen that are pulling stuff from back behind the boat, people that are trolling and things like that they'll be able to see it? I know you went on saltwater with this stuff, didn't you?
Yep, I did.
Spoiled,
and that's exactly what we were doing. Yeah, we were. It's actually where the sonar log in HDS Pro came from. That's in Key West.
Really?
Yeah, we were using ActiveTarget in the 180 mode on that wreck. And I've got a cool ActiveTarget video of. You can watch our jig go down. You watch his jack come out of the wreck and smoke the jig. We got him all the way up to the boat. We let him go back down, and we could see this Goliath grouper on the active target.
Right.
And we couldn't get a bait down there to him because there were too many jacks. But we had this one jack hooked, so we let him swim, and he swam all the way to the bottom. And you see the grouper come up and eat the jack. And we didn't take the grouper stuff with us because we weren't planning on catching one.
Right.
So we fought him for a couple seconds, and he broke us off. But it was so cool being able to watch our jig go down, a fish come and eat it, then watch that fish get eaten.
So 180's going all the way forward facing, and then
think about forward,
and
but
you've
then
stitched
you have
it
that behind
together.
you. Yep.
Like, give them an idea. See, they're on the radio. Give them an idea what it would look like if they were looking at their screen and they had 180.
Yep. So you have your it's think about forward mode.
Okay.
Right? It looks exactly like forward mode, but you have that information behind you as well.
Right.
So we take the two pictures and we stitch them together like you were talking about.
Okay.
So you have a wide band of your like I said, whatever range you have it on for in front of you and behind you.
Right. And you're not getting interference, right?
That's right. That's what we were talking about, the ping synchronization across HDS Pro and ActiveTarget 2. When you hook the ping sync wires up, they tell each other when they're pinging, so they know to not walk on each other, and so you don't see those lightning strikes. That's what I call them on live sonar when it's interfering.
Right.
You don't see that anymore. It also works for the other sonars as well. So your traditional doesn't interfere if you've got multiple traditional sonars.
Traditional 2D sonar.
Side scan, down scan, don't interfere. It synchronizes up all the sonars so they don't interfere with each other.
Wow. And so the other view that that you just brushed upon, but I think that's one that some of the anglers, that what kind of clued you in was forward and then and scout mode.
Forward and scout, yep.
So that really, that came from professional anglers.
Yeah, that definitely came from professional anglers, with using it with ActiveTarget 1, actually.
Right.
We started shipping active targets to all the pros, and a couple of them were asking for 2, and we were like, okay. I mean, yeah, you could do that, and then that's actually what got us thinking about what can we do with multiple systems, because guys were doing it. And so, yeah, the forward and the scout at the same time with 2 systems, that works with ActiveTarget 1. There's no special stitching or any of that kind of stuff. It's literally just 2 systems, and you put one panel up with forward and one panel with scout. So, yeah, that one's actually not new, but it works better now with ActiveTarget 2 with the ping synchronization.
Right, and so to have these 3 brand new views, basically the best thing is the Pro, right?
Yeah.
The unit.
Yeah, so all of those combined views only work in HDS Pro.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So don't think you can plug that into your live. We'll make people know
you
that
can
they
plug an ActiveTarget 2 into an HDS Live, and you'll get forward, down, and scout with the new higher resolution picture. You just won't get the combined views.
Right, combined. But otherwise, if you have even a carbon, right? Carbon will work with the ActiveTarget too.
And Elite FS.
Okay, that's important because a lot of guys bought that.
Yeah, Elite FS, HDS Carbon, HDS Live and HDS Pro will all run ActiveTarget 2.
Okay,
it's just with HDS Pro, you get the new combined views.
All right, let's talk about that view on side scan and down scan, because you've improved it. You've made it better.
Active Imaging HD. Yeah.
And this is crazy because they come over to Beaver Lake where I live and they get their images over there, and I know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
But
especially when we're talking about side scan and down scan, and when we're doing our sonar testing,
right?
We like to use man-made structure, right? Because it's easy to tell exactly what it is, and you can tell sort of the resolution of what you're seeing because it's sharp edges, right? Like concrete is we usually make squares, right? When they pour concrete.
Right.
Trees and rocks and stuff aren't square, right?
That's right.
So it's a lot easier for us to gauge if we're making improvements or making it worse when we're testing by using that man-made structure. And you happen to have a gold mine of man-made structure in your backyard.
That's right.
So that's where we like to do a lot of our testing. But that's where Active Imaging HD came from. Was, like I was talking about earlier, it was a ground-up rebuild of side scan and down scan. So we went to higher frequencies. We went to chirp. We did new color palettes. We did new ways of pinging the sonar.
Right.
And it's the highest resolution side scan and down scan that we've ever had.
So what's the frequency on side scan? What are the two frequencies on side scan?
Kind of hidden in the marketing, I guess, if you want to call it that, of Active Imaging HD. Is something that I think is actually kind of cool. So we've always had the ability to change frequencies between 455 and 800 on side scan and down scan, right? But they were locked together. So if you changed your side scan frequency, your down scan frequency changed, even though you might not want that, right? We've separated that out now with Active Imaging HD. So you can run your down scan and you can run your side scan on different frequencies now. And they actually are different frequencies altogether. So Active Imaging HD down scan runs 700 kilohertz and 1200 kilohertz.
Okay.
And both of those are chirp ranges.
All right.
And then the side scan runs 455, and that one's also chirp, but then it also runs 1075, and that one's chirp too. So you can set those on whichever one of those four you want.
And that's how you get it, so you're not getting that ping, that crosstalk that's coming up, and
that's right.
Yeah, and getting that. So you happen to have a modular box that if you plug it in, if you get that optional thing, you're starting to talk about fish reveal.
Yeah.
Fish reveal. If you don't have, like Lowrance, you don't have fish reveal.
That's correct.
That's
We're the only ones with it. Yeah.
But that is something that, like in large groups of shad, if you're, say, like on Beaver Lake, you're going through large scoops of shad and stuff, you see your fish, it pops out. It's easy to see.
Yeah.
But now you've said, why not improve it? Right? Is that what you guys said? We're going to sit around here and.
Yep. So Active Imaging HD is built into HDS Pro, right?
Right.
So you can take our Active Imaging HD 3-in-1 and plug it right in the back of an HDS Pro and get all the new side scan and down scan we were talking about.
Okay.
If you've got an HDS Live or an Elite FS and you want to run that new frequency in the new Active Imaging HD, but maybe you don't want to go out and buy a new HDS Pro yet, there is a module that you can get and plug into those displays to get the new sonar. It's called the S3100. And that is, again, part of that total rebuild of side scan and down scan. That new module's got all that new hardware in it. And we threw some extra stuff in there, too, that's not in HDS Pro.
Oh.
So you can combine that with the Active Imaging, I've been calling them the 4-in-1 transducer, because it's got extra elements to the left and right that can do what we're now calling side scan fish reveal. So when we launched Fish Reveal originally, you remember when we were doing that. I think even you were one of the first people that asked me, well, how come we can't get side scan Fish Reveal?
Right.
Well,
I wanted that because I figured if you could do that, imagine how fast you can eliminate water, especially in places that have lots of shad and you're trying to see those fish. Or like, of course, we're always talking like Ozark Highland reservoirs and places have lots of structure like that. But you've come.
Yeah.
You've come with that.
Yep.
So, and just explain to us, how does it pop? How does it look?
Yeah, so the magic in Fish Reveal is how we actually pull it together. So we take the high resolution imagery that you're seeing in down scan and now side scan, right? Where your trees look like trees, your rocks look like rocks, right? Your structure is like real, right? So we take that, so you have that high resolution stuff from your scanning sonar. And then we take the stuff you care about from traditional sonar, which are the big fat fish arches, right?
Right.
And we actually throw the rest of it away. We don't pull the bottom over. We don't pull the noise over, any of that stuff. We pull out the fish arches from traditional sonar. and we combine the two. So you have your nice, big, bright, fat fish arches, and you have your super high-resolution detail of your scanning sonar, right?
Right.
And we've had that in downscan. Since we had HDI and we had downscan and we had traditional, we were able to do that just with software, right? Like we had traditional and we had downscan. Let's stick them together, right? That was that simple. It was a little bit more complicated when we went to do side scan fish reveal because nobody has traditional sonar to the left and to the right, right? You have it straight underneath you.
Yep.
But we had to make a transducer and a sonar that could get fish arches out to the left and right. And that's why we had to come up with a new transducer and a new module to do it.
Lots of elements.
Yeah.
Lots of elements in there.
Yep.
So, it takes us to, in case people have some ghost trolling motors or they have trolling motors they want to add, transducer to the front. Can they do that? And with the new
so we're working on an Active Imaging HD nose cone for a ghost trolling motor. It's a 3-in-1. It's not the side scan fish reveal 4-in-1.
Right.
But there will be a 3-in-1 nose cone
if they're wanting that.
Yeah,
that's perfect. That takes us up to Tackle Time. Tackle Time sponsored by PICO Lures. PICO Lures has a complete line of hard and soft baits. Anything you want to catch, game fish. If you're talking about bass, crappie, walleye, they got it. They make it. So that's good. I tell you what. They got to check you out. So tell them where they can check out more about Lowrance products and the brand new views and all that.
Yeah, the easiest place to go for any of that sort of information is just go to Lowrance.com. There's a bunch of videos and all the specs and all the features and everything you could want to read about. It's all there.
There you go. There you have it. Like I always like to end the show, make sure you keep your hook sharp and your lures in the water.